Boker Tov, good morning, everyone. We are 14 days into the month of Elul, meaning that moon is shining bright. We're in the midst of a full moon, making our way toward the holiday of Rosh Hashanah. This morning we begin, as we begin each morning, sharing the words of Psalm 27, Achat Sha'alti. Achat she'alti meit Adonai, ota avakesh. Achat she'alti meit Adonai, ota avakesh. Shivti בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר One thing I ask of the Eternal, only that do I seek, to live in the house of God all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Eternal, and to frequent God's temple. This morning, I am so pleased that Georgia Freedman-Harvey is offering a reflection for us. Georgia is the head of the Artist Beit Midrash at the temple. Really, she is an artist extraordinaire and just an absolute beautiful soul. And this past year, she came to the cantor and I and said, I really want to start an Artist Beit Midrash. I really want to start this opportunity for artists in our community to come together to study some Judaism and to talk about our art and our processes. And over the past year, there has been a really phenomenal cohort of artists coming together. This fall, we're going to be opening up for a new cohort. So if you are interested in being part of our Artist Beit Midrash cohort, if you are an artist of any kind, or if you like to be creative here and there, but don't necessarily use the word artist to describe yourself, please reach out because we're looking for people to join that. But this morning, I share with you words from Georgia.
Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm currently the Cultural Arts Chair for TBE and an artist and curator in my professional life. I decided to answer the question, how have you used art as a form of inspiration during the pandemic? As it became clear that we were heading towards a shelter-in-place order, I knew that I would feel the loss of family and friends and being able to access the art that I work on. I knew that I was not alone in this feeling, and I wanted to do something that gave me hope and a sense of purpose. I started to make collages of butterflies. Butterflies have been around for at least 50 million years. There are nearly 18,000 species in the world and about 750 here in the United States. I figured if they could survive, I knew there was hope that we would all get through this. I made a few each day and sent them to family and friends with a note telling them about butterflies and their beauty and ability to survive, and how they inspired me to create something that reflected their beauty and determination, but then recognized how fragile and fleeting they were. When I started to make them, I did it with the thought that this would be over soon, and the butterflies would stand as a reminder of what we had all been through. Now the fall is approaching, and there are hints that some of what we remember from life before March 19th is returning. On occasion, we have a friend visit and sit in our garden, safely spaced apart, and with masks on. And there are hints that we may soon be able to visit my mother in the assisted living home in the out of doors without hugs. I'm also thinking it is time to create something another art piece to share again with family and friends. There's a sense of connection that the art conveys that is different than our current form of communication, which is mostly done via Zoom, phone, calls, or emails and texts. I think this time I will make pomegranates as the high holidays are approaching and they have a long historical and treasured connection throughout Jewish history. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Georgia. You truly are an inspiration, and I think that art has been for many of us an opportunity to express ourselves in ways that we couldn't otherwise. These have been challenging times, but I am inspired, Georgia, by your optimism, your resilience, and your ability to just bring beauty into the world in a myriad of different ways. So, thank you so much for inspiring us all as we approach the middle of the month of Elul. We look at Psalm 27 each morning, reading its words, its 14 verses, again and again. And although that's repetitive, that also is on purpose, because the hope is that in doing so, as we study the words, as we hear the reflections, as we do our own teshuvah, our own work, that we can find something else within its pages, that we can find something else within its words, something that inspires and speaks to us, and that can lead us on our journey getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. So today, once more, let us read the words of Psalm 27. Of David, Adonai is my light and my victory. From whom shall I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. From whom shall I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled, they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war arises against me, in this I would trust. One thing I have sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I might live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I might look upon the sweetness of Adonai and spend time in the palace. That you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day. Hide me in the hiding places of your tent. Raise me high upon a rock. Now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of the truah, the shofar. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice. I am crying out. Be gracious to me. Answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. Make your path apparent to me. Guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life, wait for Adonai, fill your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. Today we are looking at the beginning words of the 6th verse in Psalm 27. Words that began, Va'ata Yarom Roshi. Now the word Rosh is in Rosh Hashanah, means head. And Va'ata here, it has to do with time, now, in this moment. Yarom is to rise. So it says, now my head rises. My head rises above my enemies. And I'd like to share with you the words that Deborah Robbins has as her liturgical poem in response to these 3 words. It is about posture. I come before God upright, standing, head high, feet planted, palms facing out, long spine, level chin, relaxed jaw, ears away from shoulders, shoulder blades, angel wings tucked in. Feel the shift. My breath flows. more freely. I am less constricted, so that my heart might pump with gratitude, with compassion. Upright, I can gaze toward the horizon, beyond my troubles, my enemies round about, toward the horizon just above the troubles, the enemies that cluster around. Upright, I can envision potential paths, infinite destinations. Upright, no upturned nose, no head hung in shame, no high horse of judgment. Upright takes focus, active effort, physical and mental determination. Only with my head held high and my breath flowing freely can I come before God and discern the shofar's call, Truah. I think many of us have had moments where we didn't quite feel like we were standing upright. That because we're going through something that is difficult in our lives, we can't quite muster that posture. But sometimes when we push and we allow ourselves to take that posture anyway, it can give us renewed confidence, renewed strength. I think that in part, that is what art does. It gives us the ability to express ourselves and to put ourselves in a different kind of mindset when things are hard. It's my prayer that on this full moon, this night, that we are about to have filled with bright light, filled with joy. As you might know, most of our major joyful holidays happen when there is a full moon. Why? Because there was more light and there could be celebration late into the night. And so it is my hope that even in the midst of all the chaos, even in the midst of the things that we are struggling with, that we can hold our head up high, that we can find joy, that we can express ourselves and uplift ourselves and one another, and really take in the joy that is today. I know that one of the things that gives me joy is being in community with all of you. So I just want to say welcome this morning. I'm so glad to be here with you, Patty and Rivka, Diane and Jay, Leanne and Donald and Sunny and Riva and Rosalind. Thank you so much for being here. And for everyone else, and Marla, it's good to see you as well. Tom and Michelle and Donnie, Allison, everyone who is here, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who joins later in the day, thank you for being in community with all of us. Truly, by being present for one another, we uplift one another. And I think that that in itself is really powerful to do each morning, to be in community even from the distance we have between us in our homes. So this morning, let us hear the sound of the shofar as we do each morning. Let us make sure that we take in its call. Okay, good. And this morning, we hear the shofar sound from the one and only George Zimmerman.
Tekiah. Teruah. Shevarim.
Thank you so much, George, for awakening our souls this morning. And finally, because our world is in need of healing, because all of us are in need of healing, we offer the words of the Mishaberach in hopes that everyone who needs healing of mind, healing of body, and healing of spirit can feel a little bit of uplift this morning. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebe'erav imotenu mekor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, a renewal of spirits, and let us say Amen. Today we actually have quite a lot going on at Temple. At 12 o'clock, we'll be having Torah study on this week's Torah portion and the power of Amen. At 7 p.m., we'll have our second High Holy Day boot camp, where we'll be talking about the challenging theology in Unatana Tokaf, who shall live and who shall die, which I think particularly this year we might be struggling with quite a bit. So we should have a really good discussion. I'm excited about being able to get together for that class. And also, after you go to the High Holy Day Boot Camp, there is a Mensch event tonight for all those baseball fans. So I know that many people have registered for that, and I'm sure it will be a lovely evening. I look forward to seeing you at any of these events or tomorrow morning right here as we continue with our count of the days of Elul. So wonderful starting the day with each of you. Have a great one.